Okay, so in our last video, we set up this very basic console that would print out some information to us on the screen. So if I just go ahead and just so we can quickly refresh, there we go. So this is the console. Oh, it's the console here, right? And yeah, just make sure I'm reading that correct. There's the date, the current date, and it's saying your name. Let's go ahead and correct that. It's supposed to say your name. Just typing here quickly. Right. So again, I'll just press play here, and it's saying your name is David Blissett. Right. So it's not really very helpful. The way how it's actually capturing information. It's just printing out whatever I've typed in those strings. Remember, strings are just data types that can capture textual information, right? You have numbers and you have text. You can actually put numbers in there as well, okay? These are just the high level principles of how you communicate with the machine. You input data and then you get data back out, right? So what would be nice is instead of actually just printing out what we're giving it at the start of the program, is allowing the program to capture the information and then present it back to us. Now, don't worry if you don't understand what that means. This video is being created for, like children, 9, 10 years old who've never programmed before. So if you're a bit more advanced than that, then you're happy to skip along. So let's go ahead now and figure out how we do that. So I have a variable here called first name, and I have a variable called last name. Um, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do something called commenting that out. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight that, and I can go ahead and there's this button here in my version of Visual Studio that allows me to do that. And I can just click on that and it does a double slash, and then that will make sure that the computer doesn't try to read those variables anymore. And straight away, it's got the red lines again under the variables say, hey, I don't know what this is. And the reason that for that is because we've told the compiler, don't think about this, don't take this into account. Now, again, I have this shortcut here, but let me just undo that quickly just to show you. As long as there's no comments there, the variables are there. If I comment them out, it's no longer, first name is no longer available, last name is no longer available. Okay. So how do we actually get the first name and the last name? Let's go ahead and see if we can work through this problem together. So we're not going to fix that one issue just yet. This console here, actually, it's a component that represents that screen, that black screen that comes up for the app. That's what the console is dealing with. And so this read line here, it's not just to stop the processing from continuing. It's actually supposed to read information. It's supposed to be getting information so it can process it. So if I hover over it, if you notice, it says read the next line of characters. Now here also, you can see that it returns a string. So before console read line, it actually says string. So that tells me that I can call it. And when I say call, I'm just saying I can put the information on the screen and it will return something for me. Let me see if I can make that make a bit more sense for you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that line from the top, and it's just faster for me to do it like that. And so here I'm just saying get the first name. Now, even though it's been declared now, it's been declared after it's been used. So we're going to kind of switch things around a little bit. So bear with me, it'll all make sense in a bit, right? So I'm saying get the first name. So what I want to do here now, just to make this make sense for the user, is a bit of formatting. I'm going to say, what is your first name? and it says write line, and that would write an entire line and then create a new line. We don't want that in this instance. In this instance, I want everything to happen on one line. So instead of saying write line, I'm just going to say write, right? And so we're going to have some fun with that, right? So I'm going to say, what is your first name? And then I'm going to request it from the computer. And then the next thing here, let's just do that again. I'm going to run this up in a second. And then last name. Okay. And then we're going to present that back to the user. Now, again, I'm going a bit fast. You can always pause and go back if it's not clear what we're doing. Okay. And then I'm just going to put another read line at the bottom here. So the read line can get us information, or the read line can kind of just break things on the screen so we can see what's actually going on. So we're hoping we're gonna get the date, and then we're gonna be asked what is our first name, and then we can enter that. And then we're gonna be asked what is the last name, and then we can enter that, right? And then at the end, it should show us all the information. So let's go ahead and see if we can make that make a bit more sense now. Okay, so we just launched the program by pressing the play button, right, or start button. And I'm going to say David as my name, my first name, and then press enter. Now it's going to ask, well, what's your last name? I'm going to put my last name, press enter. And then it's showing us the first name, the last name, and then in the final line presenting us the data. So let's see if I can put that side by side so we can kind of talk through it. Right. So we can see the date, and it's presenting us with the system date. Then the question, there's the question, and then there's the answer. The second question for the last name, there it is. And then we have here your name is, presenting the final information, right? Now, I hope that makes sense. So if I go ahead and press enter, that should end the project now, or end the running of the program, sorry. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed with that is it appears to have all the information just in that one little space. Wouldn't it be nice if it was a bit more readable? So one of the things that we can do here is we can just go ahead and write a bunch of data to the screen, but format it in a way that's a bit more presentable. Now, I know nobody really codes these kinds of apps anymore. You'd have to go back maybe like 20, 30 years ago, but I can promise you that if you're in America, or if you go to some of these banks, they still use these kinds of programs. They might not be coded in C# or Windows, but the old school type of programs would be coded in a similar fashion, but maybe reading from files or a database or across the network, something like that, right? Okay, so what we're doing here now is we're just trying to format the screen so it looks a little better. So let's see if we can do that together. Now you can put any textual information in here that you like. We're just trying to formulate the screen in such a way that it kind of makes sense, and it's also fun at the same time. So let's go ahead. And again, this video is being made for a younger audience. So I know my son, he wants to learn programming so he can do scripting in Roblox. Don't ask me what that is. Okay, so, right. And again, you can have fun with this and do it in any way you like. It's just, this is kind of how we're doing it at the moment, right? notice something here. All right. All right. I haven't necessarily thought through the line sequences here too well, but once you see it presented on screen, it should make a bit more sense, right? Ooh. Okay, let's give this a try. I know these lines might not continue, as maybe maybe I can put one here and one here and then one here. Okay, let's see if this plays. That should be interesting. So we're going to head and click the start button. Okay. So again, it's only just like a starting point, but here we have the date. It's not got the formatting here. So let's try and see if we can address that quickly. So again, I'll just go and put one of those tickers there. And this might be interesting. So I'll just put a bit of space in here. See, it's a lot easier doing this like with web programming, but just for the demo, right? That's definitely going to be too. Let's just bring that in just a bit more and see what happens. Yeah. All right. Okay, so what is your first name? And again, I'm going to put David. And the next one is going to be, what is your last name? So again, I'm going to put, yeah. And your name is David Blissett, right? So again, you can have as much fun as you like with this. Now we're going to try something a bit different. We're going to introduce numbers now, okay? A matter of fact, let's look on this video here. Okay, so we've been going for a while with this video. That's 12 minutes. So we're going to stop this video, and next video, we're going to introduce number processing. So let's stop there and pick things up in the next video.